I didn't let a kid eat my food. So me and my boyfriend Jake were at the mall last Tuesday with our kids, Mia who's 5 and Owen who's 6. We just bought this bag of roasted chestnuts from that little cart near the food court, the kind that smell amazing and cost way too much, but whatever. It's a treat. We sat down on one of those benches near the fountain and started eating. The kids were fighting over who got the biggest ones. Normal stuff. That's when I noticed this kid standing like 10 feet away from us. He was maybe 10 years old, wearing a basketball jersey that was too big for him, and he just kept staring at our bag. At first I thought maybe he was waiting for his parents or something. I even smiled at him because I didn't want to be that lady who's rude to random kids. But then he didn't move. He just kept watching us eat. Then he walked over to Owen and bent down to whisper something in his ear. I couldn't hear what he said, but I knew exactly what it was about because Owen looked at the chestnuts and nodded. The kid straightened up and walked right up to me with his hand out, reaching for the bag, not asking, just reaching. I pulled the bag away and said, "No, you need to go ask your parents." Jake's head whipped around. "Seriously? What?" I said. "That's rude." He grabbed a chestnut from the bag and handed it to the kid before I could stop him. The kid took it and walked off without saying thank you or anything. "You shouldn't have done that," I said once the kid was out of earshot. "Why not? He's just a kid." "Yeah, a strange kid. You don't just hand food to random children. What if he has allergies? What if his parents don't want him eating stuff from strangers? It's a chestnut, not a bottle of vodka. That's not the point." Jake rolled his eyes and took another chestnut for himself. Mia was watching us with this confused look on her face, like she was trying to figure out who was right. I thought that was the end of it, but then 2 minutes later the kid came back. He didn't say anything this time. He just walked up to Jake, who was still holding the bag, and grabbed 2 chestnuts right out of it. I stood up so fast I almost knocked over my purse. "Hey," I said, loud enough that people nearby turned to look. "You can't just take our stuff like that. Go find your parents." The kid froze with the chestnuts in his hand. For a second I thought he was gonna run off with them anyway, but then he dropped them back in the bag and bolted. Jake shook his head at me. "You didn't have to embarrass him." "I didn't embarrass him, I stopped him from stealing our food. He's like 10. So? 10 is old enough to know you don't just take things that aren't yours." Mia tugged on my sleeve. "Mommy, why was that boy trying to eat our chestnuts?" "Because he wanted some, sweetie, but he didn't ask nicely," Owen piped up. "He asked me." "He whispered to you," I corrected. "That's not the same as asking an adult." Jake stood up and threw the bag in the trash, even though there were still like 6 chestnuts left. "Can we just go?" We walked to the car in silence. Jake didn't talk to me for the rest of the day, which honestly made me more annoyed because I didn't think I did anything wrong. Later that night, after we put the kids to bed, he brought it up again. "You really couldn't just let the kid have 1 chestnut?" "It wasn't about the chestnut," I said. "It's about teaching our kids that they don't have to share with strangers just because someone asks, and that they shouldn't take food from people they don't know." He wasn't asking our kids, he was asking us. He wasn't asking anyone. He just took it the second time. "Because you made him feel bad the first time." I stared at him. "So it's my fault he has no manners?" "I'm saying you could have been nicer, and I'm saying you could have backed me up instead of making me look like the bad guy in front of our kids." He didn't have an answer for that. He just grabbed his phone and went to watch TV in the living room. The next day I was still thinking about it at work. My coworker Nina asked why I looked annoyed and I told her the whole story. "Wait," she said, "where were the kids' parents?" "I don't know, that's the whole point. He was just wandering around by himself." "And your boyfriend thought that was fine?" "Apparently." Nina made a face. "Yeah, no, you were right. Kids need to learn boundaries. Plus, you don't know if that kid had allergies or something. What if he ate the chestnut and had a reaction? Then what?" That made me feel a little better, but I was still annoyed at Jake for acting like I was the one being unreasonable. When I got home that night, Jake was giving the kids dinner. He'd made mac and cheese, which is his go-to when he doesn't feel like cooking anything real. "Hey," I said. "Hey," that was it. We didn't talk about the chestnut thing again, but I could tell he was still mad at me and I was still mad at him.